When I was in college many years ago, a professor gave a lecture, I think it was a humanities class, I'm not sure, about The Wizard of Oz, the book and the movie. And the lecture was this. He was talking about the double meaning of that book and that movie. It's a children's book, but there's an allegory that goes with it. In other words, messages that L. Frank Baum was trying to relay to the people, the adults reading the book. The book was written in 1900, and it was a reflection of the political atmosphere at the time. Doesn't seem like it, but listen closely, I guess. You see, William Jennings Bryan, you might know him. He was a congressman from Nebraska. He won the Democratic seat and ran for president. That was in 1894, just before the book was written. He promoted his ideas, and he was against the gold standard of money. Oddly enough, that brick road made of yellow was gold. The Tin Man represented the industrial East, people from the industrial East, the Scarecrow from the farmers. The Wicked Witch was a representative of the drought that was hitting the Midwest at the time, and on and on and on. I don't remember a whole lot more than that, because it was nearly 50 years ago, but I do remember some of it. And I was looking at this for some reason, I don't know why, and I realized that the allegory that all these professors and people, they missed an important one, a very important one. And this is a spiritual and religious one. And this is how I see it, and maybe you will too. Dorothy wanted to go away, you know, somewhere over the rainbow. She got her trip handed to her by a tornado, and it ended up in Munchkin Land and all, and then went on her journey. And she picked up the Scarecrow on the way, and then the Tin Man, and then the Cowardly Lion. And she promised to help them get their gifts that they were missing. And she did. They had this wonderful, adventurous journey. They got to Oz. They got before the wizard, and he said, no, not enough. You got to come back with the broomstick of the Wicked Witch. You remember this, I hope. So they did. And they went off, and now the adventure becomes a little dangerous, full of that witch chasing them and flying monkeys. And when I was 5 or 6, that scared the daylights out of me. Scared the daylights out of my mother, too. She was 11 in 1939 when the movie came out, and she ran out the door. It scared her. But they got the broom. The broomstick, they came back. And you know from the movie, the wizard was behind the curtain. And then he gave him those gifts. Gave the Scarecrow the diploma and the brains. They gave the medal to the Cowardly Lion to get his courage. And of course, the Tin Man got his heart. But nothing for Dorothy. Until the wizard says, I'll take you back. So there he goes. They meet. They get in this big balloon. If you look at this balloon, it says Omaha on it. I think that has something to do with the political part, not the spiritual part. And then Toto sees a cat, jumps out. Dorothy goes to get Toto, and there goes the balloon. And here, what I think is the allegory. All that work, all that being kind to the three on the journey, helping them on their journey, getting to the wizard, getting their gifts, doing this work of service. But there's Dorothy, standing in Oz, left behind. All that work for nothing. Wait a minute. You mean all this work means nothing? But here comes Glenda, the good witch, down from like an angel. And she says to her, boy, you could have went home a long time ago. You have on the ruby slippers. Just click them 3 times. There's no place like home. You've seen the movie. And there, my friends, I think, is the real message. Those slippers, I believe, are a measurement of her faith. She had the slippers on. She had the power to go home. But she was so caught up in her works that she didn't realize her faith. And we know this. And all the major religions know this. Christian religions. The Lutherans, the Methodists, the Evangelicals, and the Catholics. In the end, all our works really don't mean anything. We are saved by our faith, our love of Jesus, and the knowledge of his mercy. And every one of our Christian brothers and sisters believe the same thing. Saved by her faith. Now let's get to the gospel. Now you have Martha and Mary. And Martha's busy doing the servant's work. But Mary is with Jesus, and she sees this wonderful man she just met. And she wants to learn from him. She wants to be close to him. She wants to be personal with him. She wants to know Jesus and be his friend. But what about Martha? She was doing God's work. All that hospitality to Jesus and getting everything ready. Sure, she was overwhelmed. That's minor business. She was doing God's work. And there's 2 ways to going home for you and I. Martha's way and Mary's way. And they both end up in the same place. And this is how. You see, Mary got to know Jesus, was intimate with Jesus. And that by that her faith will grow. So much so, she will be a servant to God's people. She will become a servant through her faith in Jesus and her love of Jesus and everything that she learns and hears from him. She will be saved with her faith, and she will go out. And you heard the gospel last week. Love God with all your heart, your mind, and your soul, and your neighbor. What about Martha? She has another way to go. And this way, I think, is a slippery slope. And let me tell you why. Because you and I can go out and do good works all the time. We could go out and help those unfortunate people that need us. And if we do that, and we do it because of only one reason, for the glory of God, knowing that we love Jesus and that we want to be with Jesus, we do these good works. In other words, the work that we do will send us closer to Jesus. But it's a slippery slope. Because some people do all this work and then say, look at me. Look at me, how holy I am. Or look at me, how good I am. Some people don't go to church, but they say, I'm just doing the right thing. That's the right thing. And they're right. It is the right thing. But it's the right thing for the wrong reason. So it's a slippery slope. My friends, we have to serve Jesus just like Martha. We have to be close to Jesus just like Mary. And serving Jesus will lead us to that strong faith if we go the right direction. If we're close to Jesus, it will lead us to that strong faith that will keep us in Jesus. So I ask you this: do you have ruby slippers? Are you sure that's your faith? Do you remember when Glenda first saw those ruby slippers in the movie? What did she say? Stay tight in them. They have awesome power, she says. Don't let them go. And my friends, don't let your faith go. In the end, it's what you need It's what you need in the final moments. It's what you need knowing the love of Jesus and the mercy he has for us all. Stay tight in those slippers.